we read it. Georgetown from right to left. Chuck Alexinis will be jumping the center tap, and coming in to do the honors along with him will be number 51, Mike Frazier. Frazier did not start the game, but he'll be in there starting and jumping up center. And the ball is up and controlling by Georgetown. Eric Sleepy Floyd brings it down the left side over to teammate Eric Smith. Smith missed his shot, and Connecticut comes up with the ball. Thompson right around midcourt, loses it, picks it up, gives it over to Doolin, and Connecticut's offense will start it up. Paul Hobbs at the top of the key will be the quarterback for the Connecticut Huskies. Georgetown playing a man-to-man defense. Hobbs dribbling the ball around. Guarding him is Eric Sleepy Floyd. Hobbs dribbling with his left hand right around the top of the key. And Alex Simmons at the foul line. Back to Hobbs to the right side. Into the corner for Shakorny Thompson. He drives baseline. Tries to pass it out to Alex Simmons. He can't control it, and Doolin comes up with it. Connecticut still controlling the ball with 19.5 minutes to go in the game. Paul Hobbs dribbling the ball on the right side. Again, it's Eric Floyd on him. Bounce pass to Alex Simmons. Around 5 foot. Mark going underneath to Mike McKay, but the pass was too hard. It goes out of bounds, and Georgetown will get the ball over on the turnover.
Good-looking pass from Alex Simmons, and McKay wasn't ready for it, wasn't looking at it. But Alex Simmons would have had him if McKay was looking.
On the ball, the left side is Eric Smith. He drives baseline, throws up the shot, and puts it in. For Smith on the afternoon, he has his 10th point. And Georgetown within 14. Connecticut 45, Georgetown 31. Hobbs dribbling the ball, finally gets it across the half-court line, dribbling right down, all the way down to Eric Sleepy Floyd, who tries to double cover him. Gets the pass underneath to Alex Simmons, but it's stolen, but recalled by Hobbs as he picks it up again, and there's a foul called on the play as Hobbs tried to dribble around one Georgetown player, and it's going to be called on number 22, Gene Smith.
Good work by Hobbs, bringing that ball down court against Smith, who was all over him. Smith all over him in the corner, tried to block his progress. Hobbs went over him, and the Connecticut's are going to get the ball out of bounds.
It's Gene Smith, Eric Floyd, Eric Smith, Mike Frazier, and number 40, Mike Hancock, in there for the Hoyas. And it's Connecticut's ball. Bobby Doolin dribbling on the left side. He looking underneath for Alex Simmons. Gets the ball knocked away by Eric Sleepy Floyd. Floyd throws the ball up court for Eric Smith, the one-on-one, but Smith eludes Bobby Doolin and puts in the layup for Smith, his 12th point on the afternoon. And there's going to be a timeout on the court. So with 18 minutes and 33 seconds remaining here in the game, it's Connecticut 45, Georgetown 33. Let's pause for this timeout.
Harold, Georgetown's going to come out with full court pressure, and that's John Thompson's strategy to cut this lead. Connecticut's got to find a way to get through the front court and control the ball.
And Connecticut's inboundings from deep in their own territory. Thompson gets it into Hobbs. It's a man-to-man full court press, and the rest of the Huskies just drop back, and Hobbs will go one-on-one, and they're going to call a foul as it's not Eric Floyd, it's Gene Smith gets the offensive foul. A nice play by Smith, but they're not really sure if, especially some of the fans here, if he really had his steps right in gear.
Could be a case of Thompson intimidating the referees to call that foul. That was very questionable, Harold.
Gene Smith, left side to Eric Smith. Eric back out to Gene, and Gene passes down the left side to the freshman, Freddie Brown. Brown back out to Gene Smith. Long jumper, no good, but a foul going to be called on Mike McKay, who make that Eric Sleepy Floyd. No, it is Gene Smith. He dumped him on the ground. And the first foul for Mike McKay on the afternoon. And again, let me correct myself, that was Eric Sleepy Floyd. And Floyd will be on the line to shoot 2 shots. Floyd on the year hitting at 75% from the free throw line. And he connects on the first one.
Again, 4 points in the first half for Floyd. That is way below his performance of the rest of the season, and they got to get some scoring out of the big guy.
This one could put him number 3, and it does. Number 3 on the all-time Hoya scoring list. Connecticut's lead cut down to 10, 45-35. As Connecticut has the ball, quickly a lob pass to Bobby Doolin. He gets it across half court, slows it up, waiting for the rest of the UConn teammates. Doolin being guarded by Floyd, passing on to the top of the key to Thompson. Thompson over to Hobbs, and Hobbs will take over at the quarterback position. Hobbs being guarded by Gene Smith. Bounce pass to the right side of McKay. McKay to Thompson at the top of the key. Left side to Doolin. Doolin wide open, but he tries to force a pass underneath Dobbs. It's saved as it's going out of bounds by Georgetown. And coming back the other way is Eric Smith. Eric Smith, the one-on-one. Jumper from 20, in and out. Rebound, tapped out underneath. Knocked off the hands of Eric Floyd. It goes out of bounds, and Connecticut will control the rebound.
And we have a pushing match between McKay and number 20, Fred Brown, and they're going to call McKay. McKay came up with the elbow in Brown's face, and the referee caught it. It was a good call. That's the second foul of the afternoon on McKay. Make that 3.
No, that's number 2 for Mike McKay.
3.5.
And the third team foul. And Georgetown will have a chance to cut it to 8. Floyd in the corner, trying to drive, gets it out to number 20, Freddie Brown. Brown with a cross-court pass over to Eric Smith. Long jumper. It's in and out again. Rebound underneath by Floyd. He's stopped by Thompson. Rebound battle out of bounds. Last touch by Georgetown. And Connecticut gets the ball.
Connecticut needed that, Harold, to fire them up. Thompson went up, and that was the most forceful rejection we've seen all afternoon. Connecticut, once again, has gone into a scoring drought. They have not scored in the half.
Mike McKay gives it over to Corny Thompson. We've played 2.5 minutes, and Connecticut has not yet scored. Hobbs with the ball this time. Gene Smith on him. Hobbs dribbling up the left side, trying to go around Smith. Now he slows up, gets it up Mike McKay. McKay almost traveled, and he lost the ball to Smith. It's a 2-on-2. Smith coming down. He goes up the middle. Misses a shot. Rebound tapped up by Eric Smith, and Smith puts it in for 2 points. So Eric Smith gets the ball. Connecticut's lead cut to 8, 45-37, and Connecticut cannot do anything correct on offense. It's now Carl Hobbs dribbling the ball. He's being guarded by Smith, almost stolen by Smith. Now it's stolen by Eric Smith. Gene Smith and Eric Smith team up, and Eric Smith misses the layup. Rebound controlled underneath by Floyd. Floyd turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound tapped up again around, and Bobby Doolin comes up with it for the Huskies. Doolin driving down court, and a foul called on number 32, Eric Smith. A lot of Smiths, a lot of action, and a lot of problems for the Connecticut offense.
They really are having some problems, Harold. They should take this time to regroup themselves and get their composure back. Now, they haven't scored in the half, and they've had problems getting the ball up the court. And I wouldn't be surprised if Furno would call a timeout if Georgetown scores the next bucket.
Thompson inbounds the ball, almost stolen again. There's a foul called on Floyd. As Georgetown putting on a lot of pressure to the Connecticut offense, and Connecticut is not facing up too well to that pressure.
There may be no coach in the East that stresses defense as much as John Thompson. That was his specialty. And he's certainly showing that he has a well-coached defensive squad out there now.
And 2 Huskies check in. It's Norm Bailey and Vern Giscombe in for Mike McKay and Bobby Doolin. So Giscombe, who's known to be erratic at times, checking into the game. And Hobbs gets the inbounds ball. 16 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the contest. Connecticut on top by 8, 45-37. They have not scored here in the second half. Bailey on the right side, dribbling in against number 20, Freddie Brown. A whistle on the play, and a foul call underneath on Corny Thompson. No basket. And again, the Huskies are going to have to wait for their first 2 points.
2 on Thompson for the afternoon. It's too bad. Norm Bailey made a real nice move to get around his man in the corner. Laid it up and in, but it will not go. And Connecticut's still in a scoring drought. They've gone 3 minutes and 35 seconds without scoring.
Freddie Brown, it's up top to Mike Frazier. Frazier around and goes to Eric Smith. Eric Smith shoots from a 10-footer. Rebound by Brown. Brown almost steps out of bounds, but he throws it in the Floyd. Shot, steal by Giscombe. Giscombe coming down, pass to Bailey, back to Giscombe. Giscombe underneath, and he hits.
Well, it was the 3 freshmen on the breakaway that time, Bailey, Giscombe, and Hobbs, and didn't look pretty, but it went in, and Connecticut gets on the board.
Giscombe has his 8-point, and crowd yelling for Freddie Brown for a carry, but the pass is stolen by number 14, Carl Hobbs, and Connecticut has the ball. 16 minutes and 3 seconds to go, and Connecticut with a 10-point lead, looking to up it to 12. Hobbs dribbling on the left side. He's looking underneath. He gets it top of the key to Corny Thompson. Thompson fakes up, and he's called for a travel on the fake. Good call by the referee, as Thompson looked like he shuffled his feet as he had the head fake. And Georgetown will get the ball again on another turnover. And a lot of costly turnovers for the Huskies here in the second half. Gene Smith passes down court to Freddie Brown. Freddie dribbles across half court. Back over to Smith. Smith calling out a play. He's the quarterback. 2 Smiths in there, Gene and Eric. Pass on the left side to Eric Sleepy Floyd. Back on top to Gene Smith. Gene Smith dribbling around left side to Eric Smith. Eric Smith on Giscombe. Connecticut in a 1-2-2 zone. Back out to Gene Smith, left side to Eric Smith. Lob pass underneath to Frazier. Frazier looking around, almost gets the ball knocked away. Gene Smith comes up with it back to Frazier. Frazier now Sinnis 1-on-1 over Alex Sinnis for 2 as Frazier, the southpaw, puts in 2 points. Connecticut 47, Georgetown 39.
Sweet move for the big guy who went right over Alex Sinnis. And that's 6 points on the afternoon for Frazier.
Carl Hobbs dribbles on the right side, gets it over to Norm Bailey. Bailey looking underneath, looking to pass to somebody. Gets it back to Hobbs. Hobbs at the top of the circle. Goes to the left side over to Giscombe with a chest pass. Long jumper from Giscombe. Bang! 49-39. 14:56 to go in the game. Gene Smith dribbling the ball across half court. Now he's talking to John Thompson as he's still dribbling. Thompson telling him what to do. Pass on the right side to Eric Smith. Eric back out to Gene Smith. Bounce pass over to Eric Sleepy Floyd. In the middle to Freddie Brown. Brown makes a sweet move and puts it up and in. For Brown on the afternoon, that's his first 2 points. It's Connecticut 49, Georgetown 41. Carl Hobbs dribbling the ball, guarded by Gene Smith. Left side, dribbling with his left hand, looking to drive. He does so. He gets by one man, but Smith fouls him as Hobbs goes by him. And he's going to pick up his third foul and Georgetown's fourth foul, and he's going to come out of the game. And entering the game for Georgetown will be number 30, Ron Blaylock.
That's right, Blaylock saw limited action in the first half, and he'll be replacing Floyd.
3 freshmen in the lineup for the Huskies, Jiscom, Hobbs, and Bailey. And Hobbs dribbling the ball around on the perimeter. And he gets it over to Corny Thompson. Thompson left side to Jiscom. Jiscom looking to try to get under to Alex Sinnis, but Alex Sinnis guarded nicely by Frazier. And the pass comes out to Carl Hobbs. Top of the key to Alex Sinnis. He didn't even see the ball, or he did see it, but he lost control of it. And Georgetown comes up with a turnover. Connecticut up by 8, but it's Georgetown's ball. And dribbling it across half court is Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown right side to Blaylock. Blaylock out on top to Smith. Smith back to Blaylock. Make that Floyd, and Floyd has the ball again at the top of the key. Floyd right side to Blaylock. Into the corner to number 32, Eric Smith. Smith outside to Blaylock, or Eric Floyd, and Floyd puts it in for 2 points. Connecticut 49, Georgetown 43 for Sleepy Floyd. That's his 8th point of the afternoon. Connecticut's ball. Hobbs dribbling across half court. Georgetown within 6 points, their closest margin since the beginning of the game. It's Chuck Alexander's turnaround jumper off the boards, rebounded by Frazier. Georgetown looking to cut Connecticut's lead to 4 points. And Connecticut having a heck of a time on offense. They've only scored 4 points in 7 minutes of play. Blaylock with the ball on the left side. Top of the key to Floyd. Floyd on the right side over to Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown gets it into Blaylock. Blaylock a fancy move. Left-hander, bang! 49-45. Purno has yet to call a timeout.
And he's going in now, Harold. A good call, too. Connecticut sees their 14-point lead dwindle to just 4 points. With 13:02 left in the ball game, we'll take timeout for this.
I guess we won't take timeout for this. It's Connecticut 49, Georgetown 45. And Connecticut, as we have said, only scoring 4 points here in the second half. Georgetown coming out, they were losing at halftime 45-29, but have put on an incredible 16-point spurt as Eric Sleepy Floyd is waking up. And he's doing a fine job, as well as they're going to what looks to be a 3-guard offense almost, with Freddie Brown, Eric Floyd, and Ronnie Blaylock in there. Now, for a long time, it was Gene Smith. And the 3 guards are kind of messing up the Huskies. Maybe the Huskies should go to a 1-3-1 zone and try to tackle the guards on the outside while keeping the inside kind of blocked up just a little more.
Well, what the Huskies need right now is some offense, and they're really not getting it. Only 4 points in the 7 minutes that we played in the half, and they have not been able to get the ball effectively inside. The key has been the turnaround on the Hoya defense. They have shut the Huskies off, and that's what the Huskies have to address.
Well, Connecticut has the ball, and again, Georgetown with a full-court man-to-man press. And Cornelius Thompson waiting to inbounds the ball underneath the Hoya basket. Thompson gets it into Jiscom. It's man-to-man. Everyone else should clear out. And Jiscom dribbling one-on-one with Eric Floyd. Jiscom passes over to Hobbs, and Hobbs will start off the attack for the Huskies. Hobbs dribbling around. Gene Smith rechecked into the game on that timeout. Pass the right side to McKay, who just checked the game. McKay almost threw the ball away, but Jiscom quickly comes up with it. And Jiscom dribbling in towards the middle, but now wisely pulls up and gives it back out to Hobbs. Hobbs calling out a play, dribbling with his left hand, left side, looking for Jiscom. Can't find him, and he gets it to McKay at the top of the key. McKay back to Hobbs, and Connecticut passing around the perimeter, looking to get something started. They're going to have to maybe do something on offense or defense. Now it's Thompson, left side, banker, bang! Thompson off the glass for 2, 51-45, and went down, go to the big man. And Corny Thompson has come through in the pass. Georgetown controlling the ball. Dribbling around at the top of the key is number 20, Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown, left side over to Gene Smith. Gene Smith holding the ball high above his head, gets over to Eric Smith. Eric in the right corner to Freddie Brown. Brown driving down the lane, pass under to Ray Knight. Ray Knight puts it up and in, and a foul called on the play on Bruce Kaczynski. So Knight has a chance to come up with a 3-point play and cut Connecticut's lead to 3.
12:02 in the ballgame, Harold. It's been 2 different halves. Connecticut jumping all over the Hoyas back in the first half. And we just can't stress the fact enough that the Huskies just aren't getting the offense. That last shot that Thompson took was a forced shot, not a very good one. Just banked it off the glass and in. Huskies got the break. But they've really got to change things around here if they're going to win this ballgame.
Their defense hasn't been playing too well either, as they've been letting Georgetown get underneath. Knight connects on the 3-point play. It's Connecticut 51, Georgetown 48 with exactly 12 minutes to go in the game. Giscombe dribbling the ball underneath as Giscombe and Hobbs are in the backcourt. Giscombe flies by one man and gets to the Hobbs on the left side, but Hobbs holds it up as the Husky offense really wasn't set to do anything, and Hobbs is still controlling the ball. Floyd on Hobbs. Gets it over to Mike McKay, top of the key, left side to Giscombe. Giscombe lob pass underneath to Thompson. Thompson throws the ball up off the glass and tipped in by Ray Knight of Georgetown, but Thompson will be credited for the basket. Connecticut 53, Georgetown 48, and Georgetown coming back the other way. It's Eric Smith. Lob pass in the corner to Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown back to Eric Smith. Connecticut in a zone, but not doing very well as their defense isn't doing much, and a travel underneath on Georgetown, and Connecticut gets its luckiest break of the afternoon so far, and John Thompson wants a timeout, and he will get it. So with 11 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the game, it's Connecticut 53, Georgetown 48. Let's pause for this PSA. It'll be Emerson, Lake, and Palmer on the unnamed special at 4 o'clock with Rick Neron. And it'll be Connecticut Husky women's basketball this evening at 8:55. As a matter of fact, let's also remind you, we're going to have some remotes from the Connecticut Husky hockey game this evening, which will be played up in Storrs also. Andy Young will be out at the UCONN ice hockey rink to give you some first two period of action plays, like when UCONN faces, I believe it's American International. And last night, in a very exciting game carried over the airwaves, Connecticut lost a heartbreaker in overtime to New Haven 6-5 in the Paul K. Memorial game as Connecticut was up by 2 goals with 2 minutes left, and all of a sudden, bingo, bango, bongo, it was gone. It was tied up, and in overtime, Connecticut lost it by a score of 6-5. But it's basketball here at Alumni Court. Carl Hobbs controlling the ball for Connecticut. Lob pass to Giscombe as Georgetown goes into a half-court trap. Giscombe underneath to Kaczynski at one fake. He throws it up off the boards for 2. Nice play by Giscombe and a nice play by Kaczynski. Connecticut ups its lead to 8 points, 55-48. Make that a 7-point lead. Georgetown controlling the ball. It's Freddie Brown. Left side over to Eric Smith. Top of the key to Gene Smith. Gene Smith dribbling around, goes over to John Thompson, the coach, and while he's dribbling the ball, Thompson again giving him instructions, and Gene Smith calling out a new play. Freddie Brown on the left side, into the corner for Eric Sleepy Floyd. Floyd looking to drive, gets it back out to Gene Smith, and Connecticut in a 1-2-2. Right side to Eric Smith, into the corner for number 20, Freddie Brown, out on top to Eric Sleepy Floyd, and Sleepy Floyd dribbling the ball out and around. Top of the key again to Gene Smith. Right side to Floyd again. Floyd dribbles up once, pass on the left side underneath the Eric Smith. He drives the lane, but he's fouled, and the shot does not count, as it did not go in, and Kaczynski will pick up his second foul, and the Huskies will pick up their 6th as a team.
Real fine move by Smith. Smith's ball baseline was open, put the ball to the floor, went around Kaczynski. Kaczynski got him going through, so he's going to get 2 from the line. 10:23 left in the ball game. Connecticut's lead cut to 7, 55-48.
Smith has 14 points on the evening. Re-entering the lineup is Mike Frazier, and sitting down will be Ray Knight. And on the line to shoot 2 shots will be Eric Smith. Connecticut scoring 10 points here in 10 minutes. Only 4 throughout the first 7 minutes. And Eric Smith has the first shot go in after it bounced around the rim 2 or 3 times. 10 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the game. Connecticut 55, and as Smith puts in the second one, Georgetown has 50. Connecticut on top by 5. Thompson with the ball, dribbling it deep in the Georgetown zone. He gives it over to Giscombe, and since Georgetown's playing a man-to-man, everyone else clears, and Giscombe goes one-on-one with Eric Sleepy Floyd. Giscombe hands the ball over to Carl Hobbs. Hobbs dribbling on the left side, looking underneath for McKay. He can't get it to him, and he passes out front. Top of the key to Giscombe. Giscombe right side to Kaczynski. Kaczynski on top to Hobbs. Hobbs right underneath to Mike McKay. A fancy move, throws up a shot, and he's fouled from behind by Mike Frazier. So McKay will go to the line to shoot 2 shots.
Frazier had good position. McKay with a nice move to go around him, and Frazier again slapped him on the back. That's his second foul of the afternoon, and that's the 5th on Georgetown. And we're exactly midway through the second half. Connecticut lead is 5, 55-50.
McKay shooting 74% from the line, and it's right around now when these free throws are going to be all but gold. He puts in the first one, 56-50. It's a team right down the stretch who hits more foul shots that's going to win this game, and especially if you don't have as many turnovers.
I'll buy that.
And McKay hits the second one. Connecticut on top by 7, 57-50. On the night, it's 9 points for Mike McKay. Breaking the press easily is Georgetown. Eric Smith, a 2-on-1, is shot from the left side, off the rim, no good. Tipped up and in by Frazier, as Frazier went over Corny Thompson. And Connecticut lead back down to 5, 57-52. Kaczynski dribbles, gets it across to Giscombe. Giscombe around half court, 2-on-2. McKay right side from 20, in and out. Rebound underneath by Georgetown, and coming up with it is Sleepy Floyd. Floyd hands the ball over to Freddie Brown, and Georgetown going to try to cut the lead to within 3 points. Brown hands the ball over to Gene Smith. Gene Smith again dribbling over to John Thompson. Thompson giving him some important things to talk about, and is still talking to him. Connecticut in a 1-2-2, and now Smith passes over to Floyd. Floyd back to Smith. This is Gene Smith. Gene Smith at the top of the key. Looking to go on the right side. He gets into the corner for Eric Sleepy Floyd. Back out to Gene Smith, top of the key to Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown looking underneath. He can't see anything. Left side to Eric Smith. Smith's guarded by 2 players, Hobbs and McKay, into the corner for Gene Smith. And Gene Smith dribbles out and around and passes a bounce pass on top to Floyd. And Connecticut's defense is still keeping Georgetown from going underneath. It's Eric Smith on the left side. Hobbs on him. Smith looking to go baseline, but instead wisely chooses to pass up to Freddie Brown. Brown right side to Floyd. Jumper in and out. Rebound underneath by Frazier. Tapped around by Kaczynski, and Kaczynski's called for the foul as he was on Frazier's back.
That'll be Kaczynski's start of the afternoon, and very quickly Alex Innes will check back into the lineup. Held a tough call to make. Frazier had good position. Kaczynski put his hand over the top of Frazier's head and knocked the ball loose, and the referee said that there was contact, and so he's going to send Frazier to the line.
Connecticut is now over the limit. And from now on in, for Georgetown, anytime they get fouled, they'll be on the line shooting in the bonus. Bobby Doolin getting set to check into the game, and he does so. So now it's Thompson, Alex Innes, and McKay in the forecourt. And in the backcourt, as Hobbs checks out, it'll be Giscombe and Doolin. For Georgetown, they have Freddie Brown, Eric Floyd, Eric Smith, Gene Smith. All 4 of those could be listed as guards. And the big man is Mike Frazier. He's on the line, a 7-footer, and he hails from Cleveland, Ohio. Frazier hits the first one on the ear. Frazier shooting at 39% from the free throw line, averaging 2 points a game, but tonight he has 8. And he hits the second one. 57-54. Connecticut's lead cut down to 3. And Connecticut has the ball. It's Giscombe passing a bounce pass up court to Bobby Doolin, back to Giscombe, and Connecticut is on their side of the half-court stripe. Giscombe dribbling around the left side, looking underneath, bounce pass out. Sinnis goes off the hands of Gene Smith, and Connecticut will keep control of the ball. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Connecticut 57, Georgetown 54. Connecticut went in the halftime with a 16-point lead, but Georgetown playing very well. They steal the ball here. It's Eric Sleepy Floyd all alone. Jam! And Connecticut's lead cut to 1 point, 57-56. And Connecticut not playing very well here at the second half at all. Almost like Villanova. They did not play a good second half against Villanova either. And Georgetown keeping Connecticut from getting the ball forces Connecticut to go and call a timeout, and that's what we have right here. 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining from Alumni Court in Storrs, Connecticut. It's Connecticut 57, Georgetown 56. We'll be back right after this. In the second half, Georgetown has outscored the Huskies 27-12. And that's been the margin here to cut Connecticut's lead from 16 points to 1.
But a point you often like to make when you're talking about the home court crowd is it can work to your advantage, it can also work to your disadvantage. But the point is you've got to get that crowd quiet if you're the visiting team, and that's what Georgetown has done here in the second half. This crowd is as silent as it's been in a long, long time. It's a sellout. There are over 4,400 people here. But there's not a lot to cheer about right now as their lead is cut to 1.
The last loss for the Huskies at the Fieldhouse was versus St. Peter's last year in the NIT first-round action. And Connecticut has the ball with 8.5 minutes to go, and it's Vern Giscombe dribbling across half court. And the Husky crowd is going to have to start something up, especially for the Huskies. Foul call underneath is going to be called on Mike Frazier for the Georgetown Hoyas. It's Frazier's third foul and the Hoyas' sixth. So pretty soon both teams will be shooting from the line. But right now Connecticut has the ball underneath on the foul, which would be a possession call. Bobby Doolin underneath, slaps his hands on the ball, gives it into Mike McKay, and McKay is in the corner, right corner, looking underneath, tries to get a pass out Sinnis, but it's picked off by Georgetown, and Gene Smith is controlling it for the Hoyas. Smith dribbles across half court. He's talking to Thompson again, the coach, and Huskies still playing a 1-2-2. Pass to the left side to Eric Smith. Back on top to Gene Smith. Back to Eric Smith. Jumper from 20. In and out. Rebound by Corny Thompson. So Georgetown fails to go on top for the first time in the whole game. I don't believe they've led it all throughout this whole contest. And Connecticut has the ball. Giscombe dribbling across half court. Guarded by Gene Smith. Bounce pass left side to Doolin. Doolin does not want to shoot. Gets it out top to Mike McKay. McKay dribbles once. Gets it over to Giscombe. Giscombe looking to drive from the foul line. Shot up. Rebound. No good. And rebounded by Eric Floyd. 2-on-2 break. Gene Smith on the left side. Steal by Giscombe. And the Huskies have it one more time.
Quick hands by Vernon. He got that hand right in between two Hoya players and quickly picked it off. That would look like a senior on that one.
Bobby Doolin dribbling across half court. Eric Floyd on him. Pass to the right side to McKay. Jumper from downtown. Bang! The biggest shot of the game for Mike McKay as the Huskies are on top by 3. 59-56 for McKay, his 11th point of the afternoon.
And he gets the crowd going a bit here. They're going to pick up here.
Freddie Brown with the ball on the left side, looking to go underneath. He can't do so as Connecticut's blocking him very nicely. G. Smith on the right side. Back to Freddie Brown on the left side. He drives. Left corner to Eric Smith. Jumper from 10. Swish. 59-58. Connecticut on top by 1. And Georgetown still in a full court man-to-man press with 6 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the game. 18 points for Eric Smith of Georgetown. Giscombe dribbles up to the free throw line. Over to Alex Sidis. Hook shot, no good. Rebound underneath by Mike Frazier, and Georgetown with another chance to go on top with 6.5 minutes to go. Gene Smith dribbling on the right side. Top of the key over to Freddie Brown. Freddie Brown in the left corner of Eric Smith. A long jumper. Bang! And Georgetown has taken the lead in this basketball contest.
Defensive mix-up here. McKay came up to the top of the circle to play the guard spot, leaving Smith all alone. That's the second one in a row that he's made from there.
And Giscombe dribbling the ball now as he's taking over the point guard chores for the Huskies. Knocked out of bounds by Eric Smith, who's played himself a whale of a game. He has 20 points so far. Connecticut will take the ball out in front of press row area. Thompson has 17 points. He's leading all scorers for the Huskies. Alex Sidis has failed to score here in the second half. Hobbs checking into the game for Giscombe. Georgetown 60, Connecticut 59 with 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the game. Plenty of time. But the Huskies can't be too happy seeing a 16-point halftime lead go down to nit. Top of the key is Bobby Doolin. He's being guarded by Floyd. Pass to the left side to Hobbs. Hobbs dribbling the ball around from the crowd, and he's going to take over the point guard chores. Hobbs dribbling one-on-one with Floyd. Left corner to McKay. A long jumper. It's off the rim. No good. Rebound Frazier. Connecticut's pretty much cold here in the second half. They've only scored 14 second half points
as opposed to 31 for the Hoyas.
And Gene Smith again talking to John Thompson. And they're going to slow it up, and they're going to try to force Connecticut to come out and play man-to-man. Gene Smith pass on the left side to Freddie Brown. Brown back to Smith, and Connecticut matches up man-to-man.
And they did this very well last year against Syracuse in the championship game of the Big East, so they're a skilled team in this.
Eric Floyd dribbling around. He's being guarded by Doolin. He tries to get around. Doolin does so. Streaks to the basket, puts it up, and no good. Blocked by McKay, and it's going to be a goaltending call on Mike McKay. So give Eric Sleepy Floyd 2 points. And now Georgetown ups their lead to their biggest margin of the afternoon, 62-59. 10 points for Sleepy Floyd. Carl Hobbs dribbling on the left side. Connecticut cannot lose their composure. They're down by 3, but there's still plenty of time. 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Thompson with the ball. They're going to have to go to Thompson or Alex Innes, but Alex Innes is on the bench for some reason. Mike McKay, top of the key, right side to Doolin. Lob pass underneath to Thompson, off the hands of number 20, Freddie Brown, and Connecticut gets a second life.
What a break that was. There was nobody near that pass. Brown went over to take it, and it went off his hands and out of bounds. So Connecticut will underneath it. Will get it in underneath their own basket.
I'm not sure why Alex Innes is on the bench. He is not in foul trouble, and he had 13 first half points, and that's what put Connecticut on the lead. But he is on the bench right now, and Thompson shooting from the foul line. It's in and out. Rebound tapped in by Bailey, and a foul on top of it.
Oh my, you were just talking about why Alex Simmons was on the bench. That puts more pressure on the freshman forward. And that time he went up over Frazier. Bailey stands in at 6'5" or 6'6". Frazier at 7'1". Bailey went over and tapped it in and got a foul to go.
And it's his fourth foul on Mike Frazier. And checking into the game very quickly is Ray Knight, who stands at 6'9". And maybe Don Perno should look to his bench and see that maybe Chuck can match up a little better with Ray Knight than he could with Mike Frazier. And on the line to shoot one is Norm Bailey. He ties it. We're tied at 62 from Alumni Court. Harold Darak along with Bill Healey and Mark Boudreau. 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the game. Eric Smith dribbling down on the left side, gets it out to Gene Smith, and Connecticut again matches up man-to-man. Eric Sleepy Floyd at the half-court circle, dribbling it around with his left hand. He's being guarded by Hobbs. He's dribbling towards the middle. He got by Hobbs once last time pretty easily, and he passes it over to Freddie Brown. Brown this time guarded by Bailey, gets it over to Gene Smith. Gene Smith streaks by Doolin, slows it up and gets it back to Sleepy Floyd. Floyd dribbles this time past Hobbs, slows it up, gets to Eric Smith, back to Floyd, and Georgetown is what appears to be a four-corner stall, looking for the best shot they could possibly come up with. Gene Smith into the top corner to Freddie Brown. He's being guarded again by Bailey. They're going to have to try to double team him, but they're going to have to stay patient. Huskies going to have to stay patient. Gene Smith dribbling the ball around. Picks it up, gives it to Eric Sleepy Floyd. Floyd being guarded by Hobbs. Now, it wouldn't be that bad of an idea if the Huskies drop back into a zone and let the Georgetown team just run out the clock to as far as they want to do it. Eric Floyd this time around the half-court circle, dribbling towards the middle as he eludes Hobbs, but they're not going to the basket. They're playing four corners. This time Freddie Brown goes to the basket, puts it in, and is fouled by Thompson. I'm not sure about that call. It's Courtney Thompson trying to draw the offensive foul. Gets called for the foul. The basket counts. Georgetown on top by 2 with a chance to go up by 3, and Thompson picks up his third foul.
That was a real gamble by Thompson, the only man down there for the Huskies in the lane. That time, the player drove through. Brown drove through, and Thompson, the only man in there, just shuffled his feet, did not allow Brown to come down, and that's why he's going to get the three-point play opportunity.
Brown has 4 points on the afternoon, looking for number 5. And he doesn't come through. Rebound Thompson. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the game. Connecticut losing by 2. It's Georgetown 64, Connecticut 62. Hobbs dribbling on the left side. He's looking for McKay. He's still dribbling around. He's now pulls up, gives it over to Thompson. Thompson back to Hobbs. This is a very important basket for the Connecticut Huskies. If they blow this one, Georgetown will play four corners for the rest of the game. It's Hobbs trying to dribble to the middle. Almost gets a stolen ball on the ground. Picked up by Bailey. Bailey bounced past to McKay. And it's stolen by Ray Knight. And Georgetown has a chance to go up by 4 points and ice this game with 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the contest. Georgetown, who is absolutely fantastic in the four-corner stall, has the ball. It's Eric Sleepy Floyd guarded by Hobbs. Floyd left side to Eric Smith. Ball comes out and around to Gene Smith, and Smith gives it into the corner to Freddie Brown, who's all alone. Brown gets guarded now by Norm Bailey. Bailey on him. Bailey cannot foul Brown, but Brown goes to the left side, gets it over to Eric Smith. Smith back to Brown. Brown out top to Eric Sleepy Floyd. Floyd dribbling it around. Floyd looking to go to the left hand, almost stolen by Bailey, almost stolen by Hobbs, and a whistle and a foul called on Carl Hobbs.
Good teamwork there between Bailey and Hobbs. Bailey came off his man and gave Hobbs a hand, knocked the ball loose, and then Hobbs wrapped his arms around the man and the ball, and it's going to send Eric Smith to the line, and he'll get a 1-and-1.
Second foul on Hobbs.
Now they're going to put Floyd to the line.
2 minutes and 36 seconds left in this contest. Georgetown on top by 2 as they played a tremendous second half. He misses the foul shot. Rebound Thompson knocked away, but picked up by Cornelius. 2.5 minutes to go. Connecticut has a second life. Georgetown 64, Connecticut 62, and the crowd is now starting to get Connecticut pumped up. Hobbs dribbles across half court. He's being guarded by Floyd again. Picked by Thompson. Pick and roll as Thompson has the ball right side. Foul called on Gene Smith. No shot on the play, and Thompson goes to the line with a chance to put in the 1-and-1 situation for Gene Smith. He picks up quickly his 4th foul.
Thompson, as we mentioned, shooting 82% from the line this year. Here's a trivia question for you. Who leads the NCAAs in foul shooting?
Thompson.
No, Rocket Rod Foster out of New Britain. He's only missed 1 this season, shooting 98%. And Mark Boudreau, who knew that one, is turning green with pride.
Well, his pride will be shot when he has to announce the game tonight between UCONN and Montclair State. Doolin checks out of the game, and coming in for him is Vernon Giscombe. They're going to try to get some outside shooting in there, and Thompson concentrating. His first shot goes in. Georgetown 64, Connecticut 63, 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the contest, and Corney has the bonus
I tell you, Harold, you go back the last 5 or 6 games, and Thompson's got to be shooting about 95%. I can't remember the last time he missed one.
I hope you didn't jinx him here, Bill. As Thompson throws up a second one, and it goes in and out. You jinxed him. Rebound underneath by Eric Smith. And Georgetown has the ball. Gene Smith now on the right side, dribbling across half court. Georgetown with a 1-point lead. Passes over to Eric Smith on the left side into the corner to Eric Sleepy Floyd, who's right around the half-court line. Floyd being guarded by Hobbs, dribbling around, trying to spin around Hobbs, can't do so, and he has to pass it back to Gene Smith. Smith gets around Vern Giscombe, who was picked on the play, and Smith still dribbling the ball around and still controlling it. Now he passes over to Freddie Brown. 1:48 to go in the game. Brown being guarded by Bailey, and he's dribbling around. He tries to drive on Bailey, passes out to Eric Sleepy Floyd. So Floyd has it now, and he's being guarded by Hobbs, driving right down the line, throws up a shot. Offensive foul, and a beautiful play by Cornelius Thompson. The 4th foul for Eric Sleepy Floyd as Thompson held his ground. 1:36 to go. Connecticut down by 1. And we're going to go right down to the final buzzer in this game.
Again, another gamble by Thompson. This time it pays off, and they're going to bring the big guy back on the floor.
And it's about time. I don't know why he's been sitting on the bench this long. Chuck Alexinis has only 1 foul. He had 13 first-half points, but did not score at all in the second half, mainly because he has not played much in the second half.
While we're mentioning fouls, Harold, Thompson took the charge from Floyd. That's number 4 for the leading scorer in Georgetown.
Connecticut inbounds the ball. Georgetown man-to-man, full court still. And Connecticut drops back to the offense. And Carl Hobbs slowly taking the ball across the timeline. He better hurry up or he's going to have a 10-second violation. Finally he gets it across. And he's now calling out signals. He's going towards his right, and a little bit of a motion offense for the Connecticut Huskies. Giscombe on the left side, now dribbles up once, tries to shoot, gets it in. Alex Innes, bounce on the ground, throws it up, and there's a foul on the play as Alex Innes took the ball to the hoop. It almost dropped in for him in one of those forced fouls. And there's foul is called on number 21, Eric Sleepy Floyd. That's number 5, and he is out of the game. Oh, excuse me, it's on number 51, Mike Frazier, and Frazier's out of the game. Because he has his 5th foul, so one way or the other, we got one man out of this game. It looked like Floyd was going to the bench. I assume they were calling it on him, but Frazier, the big man, is now gone. He finishes up with 10 points on the night. And this is Frazier's high of the season. Previously, it was 8 points versus St. John's and Southern Connecticut. But his season high for Mike Frazier, who came into this game averaging 2.1 points per game, and 4 points versus Big East squads.
Harold is going to be replaced by Jeff Bullis, who is no slouch himself. Was one of the reasons why Georgetown went as far as they did. One of the reasons why they got hot at the end of the year last year, because Bullis came on and played very well from that 6th-man position.
Now, I don't believe Bullis has played much at all in the second half. He had 6 first-half points, all coming from the free throw line. Alex Innes now on the line, and he connects on the first. Chuck Alex Innes shooting 75% for the year from the free throw stripe. The game is now tied at 64 apiece with 1 minute and 14 seconds to go. And he's shooting his second one, and he connects. There's the buzzer, and coming into play defense is Norm Bailey as Chuck Alex Innes checks out and sits right by the scorer's bench, getting ready to come in on the offense. But I'm going to have to believe Georgetown is going to go into that 4-corner stall.
And the referee wants to know what Chuck is doing at the scorer's bench. Of course, you cannot report right back into the lineup. So he's going to sit Chuck down. Chuck's going to wait a couple seconds and then report back in.
Georgetown inbounding the ball. 1 minute and 14 seconds left. Eric Sleepy Floyd has it. He's dribbling up. He's being guarded by Hobbs. Gets across half-court line. Floyd this time on the right side, dribbling it around. Looks like Georgetown's now going into an offense. Bullis on the top of the key, dribbling it around. He gets it over to Gene Smith, and he's fouled by Giscombe. And on a poor freshman mistake by the freshman out of New York, New York.
Gene Smith is no slouch from the line, 83%. Well, it's not going to be Smith. They're going to send Bullis to the line.
And that's why the crowd is yelling, because it shouldn't be Bullis. It should be Gene Smith.
That's right. I've never seen that happen before.
And Burno now realizes it. And Burno is up and screaming. Now Jim O'Brien and Greg Ashford, they're both pointing. And Georgetown's ploy does not work. And I can bet you this crowd will be up for Gene Smith's foul shots.
Harold, you know, I don't know about that call. I would imagine that there ought to be some rule in the book calling a technical for that.
It's Connecticut 65, Georgetown 64, 1 minute and 1 second to go in the game. And John Thompson's now up and screaming. He says it is Bullis. But it's not Bullis, it is Gene Smith. And Smith is going to the line now to shoot.
Absolutely.
And a substitution into the game, checking in for Bullis, is Ray Knight.
I don't know, Bullis shoots less than Smith from the line. I wonder why they did that.
Well, Bullis is 6 for 6 on the line this afternoon. That could be one reason. Here's the 1-and-1, and listen to the crowd. He hits. They're tied at 65 with 1 minute and 1 second remaining in the game. Here at Alumni Court in Storrs, Connecticut. Harold Darak along with Bill Healey and Mark Boudreau. Second shot, no good! Rebound by Thompson! Connecticut has one more chance to put this game up by 2 points. We're tied at 65 with 51 seconds to go, and the crowd is on its feet. Carl Hobbs dribbling across half court. He's being guarded by Gene Smith. Dribbles down, looking to pass to somebody, gets into the corner for Mike McKay. McKay, who's known to have turnovers, to be turnover prone, gets it over to Giscombe, and a timeout called by the Connecticut Huskies with 38 seconds remaining. So with 38 seconds to go in this game, and the score, Connecticut 65, Georgetown 65. We'll be back right after this. There's 38 seconds to go in this contest, and an exciting one it is. Connecticut with a 3-2 record in the Big East, as well as Georgetown with a 3-2 record, looking to get their 7th straight win at home versus Big East opponents.
Okay, Harold, if you're Don Perno, you want to get Corey Thompson back in the lineup, and you want to tell your guards that he's the man that's going to handle the ball, get it inside of him. Thompson is the best free throw shooter on the team, and as we look down on the court, he is going to check back in the lineup. Of course, if they can get the ball to him, and Georgetown fouls him, and then that will send Thompson to the line with a chance to shoot the 1-and-1. If you're John Thompson, you want to put pressure on the inbounds pass, and you want to make sure that once it's in, that Thompson is covered, and try to deny the big man the ball.
Connecticut will be inbounding the ball right in front of their own bench. Thompson is going to inbounds the ball. It's Thompson, Alexinis, Giscombe, Hobbs, and Doolin. 3 guards for the Huskies, and Hobbs gets the ball inbounds and no problems at all. And they're going to play catch back and forth between the 3 guards until Georgetown comes out of their what looks to be a 2-1-2 zone defense. 25 seconds left. They're still passing it back and forth. I say look for Thompson for a last second shot. 20 seconds.
Now the referee motioning Georgetown to come out and play the Huskies, and they do.
And now Thompson gives it over to Hobbs again. Hobbs is in the corner. He better not get stood up. 11 seconds, 10 seconds. Now it's Giscombe on the left side. They're going to have to do something. Giscombe tries to drive, calls a timeout with 6 seconds left. A smart play by the Huskies, and they're going to have one more chance to put this game out of reach.
Very smart call by the freshman. That reminds me of a play Hobbs made earlier in the season, just before he was about to commit a backcourt violation as he lost his balance, called the timeout. That time Giscombe realizes he was trapped, didn't want to give up the ball on the 5-second jump ball call, called the timeout, and Connecticut's going to talk it over. They'll have 6 seconds left to set something up. Once again, you've got to imagine that it's going to go inside to Thompson.
And once again, if you were Georgetown, you got to say, if you're going to foul anybody, you don't want to foul, but if you're going to foul anybody, foul Giscombe. He's on the line once. Don't foul Hobbs. Hobbs is tough. Don't foul Thompson. But if anyone you want to foul Vern Giscombe, because he had a chance to ice away the game versus St. John's last Saturday, and he missed the 1-and-1 bonus situation attempt. There is 6 seconds remaining, and another timeout, this time by Georgetown. And we'll stay tuned for all the overtime we can. Corey Thompson looking to inbounds a play, and Georgetown defending it in a 2-1-2 zone. Pass comes into Carl Hobbs. 5 seconds left. Hobbs top of the key, looking to get it to somebody. Gets it to McKay. 2-1. McKay shot. No good, and that's going to be overtime for the game. The score in regulation play, Connecticut 65 and Georgetown 65. So let's pause for this timeout, and we'll be back with all the overtime action right after this.
We played 40 minutes of deadlock basketball, and it's one of the most exciting games that Connecticut has been in the Fieldhouse in a long while. Of course, they played an exciting one up at BC, played an even more thrilling one at the Hartford Civic Center against St. John's, and it's getting the old half.
Connecticut has not gone into overtime yet this year, but Georgetown has twice. They beat George Washington in double overtime, 84-82, and they defeated Seton Hall 52-51, and in their 2 overtime games. So the Huskies are brand new to this one, and the pressure is on as always. They have blown a 16-point halftime lead, and Don Perno is going to have to go over these game films after this game and say, hey, what went wrong?
Connecticut starts the overtime with Alex Innes, Thompson, McKay, Doolin, and Hobbs. It'll be Floyd, Knight, Smith, Brown, and we'll pick up the other one for the Hoyas. The opening tap is knocked out of bounds. The Huskies were the last to touch it, so Georgetown will inbound it in front of their own bench. It'll be Fred Brown getting it into Eric Floyd. Huskies setting up with a 2-3 zone defense. Throwing the ball at the top of the circle is Gene Smith. Smith and Floyd playing catch now at the top of the circle. Trying to set things up on the left-hand side. Floyd at the top of the circle way outside. Smith lets the shot pass and gets the ball over to Brown. Brown back to Smith. Over to Floyd. Now Georgetown being very patient. Taking a shot from the far corner and hitting is Eric Smith. And so he gives Georgetown this 2-point lead in the first 30 seconds of overtime. So Hobbs brings the Huskies back up court, trying to answer. Huskies record 12-2 on the year. Georgetown 11-7. Huskies would like a win here and boost their Big East record to 4-2. Georgetown 1-4 in the conference, but they played better than that. McKay, top of the circle, right-hand side to Doolin. Inside to Thompson, spinning move, around and out. Rebound is knocked around by Alex Innes, but controlled by the Hoyas. In the back court, here comes Gene Smith. And Smith loses the ball out of bounds off the Huskies, so they'll put the ball just into play, just inside their own zone.
We remind you, Mike Frazier, the 7-foot center, has already fouled out for Georgetown. He fouled out and had 10 points. And Bailey rechecking the game. Alex Innes sitting down. I guess Perno feels that Bailey is quicker and can go better with these Georgetown people than Alex Innes can.
Fred Brown inbounds it to Eric Floyd. And the Hoyas start out on the offense once again with a 2-point lead. We're in overtime. 3:50 left in this first overtime period. Doolin steals the ball, gets it over to McKay, and the Huskies set up the offense. Well, they caught the Hoyas trying to set up the offense. And Doolin with a quick hands picks up his third steal of the afternoon. Hobbs holding the ball on the right-hand side, inside for Thompson. Thompson with nothing going. Over to McKay on the right side, shot it in. Mike McKay answers, and we're knotted at 67. 13 points on the afternoon for McKay. Jeff Bullis now holding the ball in the right-hand corner for the Hoyas. Inside to Eric Smith. He is stuffed as he went underneath, and he caught traveling.
I can't believe that call. I'm a Husky fan myself, and Thompson really bowled right into the Georgetown player. Coach John Thompson of Georgetown can't believe that one either, but a travel violation called on Georgetown, and the Huskies will control the ball.
3:11 left in the first overtime period. Of course, college basketball, they play 5-minute overtime periods, and the winner after each overtime period is the winner. Connecticut inbounding, poor play, and Georgetown steals it, so they've got a chance to go back on top. They tried to get in now. Alex Innes, the ball is knocked away, and Hoyas are on offense. It's Floyd in the left-hand side of the offensive zone, moving on Doolin. Doolin now getting some help with Hobbs, and Floyd gets it outside to Gene Smith. Huskies playing a man-for-man. Hobbs is on Smith, and Hobbs is called for a foul.
And since the bonus situation carries over into overtime, Gene Smith will go to the line to shoot 1-1. Two minutes and 49 seconds to go in this first overtime period. Connecticut 67, Georgetown 67. Hobbs picks up his third foul on that play. And Gene Smith misses a shot, rebounded by Thompson.
A big miss by Gene Smith. And that will allow the Huskies to run some more time off the clock and try to get a good shot. 67-67, 2:38 left in overtime. Hoyas picking up the Huskies in a loose zone defense. Now they pull man-to-man. It is Gene Smith guarding Carl Hobbs. Hobbs going through the middle and forces up the shot. He was fouled going through, and he's going to go to the line.
Good play by Carl Hobbs as he made some nice penetration right up the middle. He was pushed from behind, and Hobbs is an excellent free throw shooter.
On the season, as you mentioned, Hobbs shooting 79% from the line. Now Corey Thompson is...
But the hand is for number 22, Gene Smith, who was just fouled out for Georgetown. So now Georgetown has two players who fouled out. Mike Frazier, who fouled out with about 2 minutes left in regulation, and now Gene Smith, who was fouled out with 2.5 minutes to go in the first overtime period. And let me tell you, Gene Smith has played one whale of a game for the Georgetown team. Smith coming into the year into this game averaged only 3 points a game. He only scored 1, but he played some fine defense, really fine defense, and really kept the Huskies really not sure of what to do with the extra guard in there.
2:26, 67-67, and Carl Hobbs at the line to try his hand at the bonus situation. A 1-and-1. We just saw Smith miss the 1-and-1 down the other end, and now Hobbs has a chance to put the Huskies ahead. Kurt Call is the substitution for John Thompson.
Call did not play anything in the second half.
Hobbs' first shot is in. Big free throw for the freshman.
Connecticut now on top again. An exciting game here from Alumni Court. We hope to match that tonight, Montclair State versus Connecticut in the Lady Huskies Classic game.
Hobbs puts in the second end, and that's 6 points on the afternoon for the freshman guard. And two of them, the two that he just scored, could not have come at a more opportune time. And now we get another substitution. It's Norm Bailey checking in for Alex Innes, as the Huskies showing token three-quarter zone press. Now foul out of it, and Hobbs steals the ball, and he's going to be fouled by Floyd, and that is number 5.
That's it for Eric Sleepy Floyd. Hobbs comes up with the big one more time, as Hobbs is playing himself a whale of a ball game in this overtime period. Connecticut on top by 2, and he will be on the line to shoot. Listen to this crowd. Connecticut 69 and Georgetown 67. Eric Sleepy Floyd finishes up the afternoon with only 10 points, which is one of his season low games. I remember another game this season, I think he scored only 4 points. But this game, he just did not play very well at all. I'm not sure who guarded him throughout most of this game when they went man-to-man. But they're going to have to buy that player a beer because they did a fine job.
Hobbs has been guarding him all afternoon. That's a tough assignment for the freshman. So goodbye, Mr. Floyd. We'll see you in Georgetown. But right now we've got an issue to settle. Connecticut and the Hoyas 69-67. Connecticut leads by 2. With Hobbs at the line to shoot another crucial 1-and-1 situation.
2 minutes and 18 seconds left. There's still plenty of time. But Georgetown has fouled out 3 of their players.
Eric Floyd, Gene Smith, and the most important player, rather, Floyd went out and Frazier went out as well. The most important player for the Hoyas is gone. That is Eric Floyd as Hobbs sinks the front end of the 1-and-1.
And now Hobbs is talking to the referee. Kurt Call, as soon as Hobbs took that shot, put his behind right into Hobbs to box him out in that play. And Hobbs says, hey, give me a little more time. I didn't even get the shot off.
Hobbs now with a second end. Misses around and out, and Georgetown controls the rebound. The lead is odd. It's 70-67, a 3-point Connecticut lead. And the Huskies bring out the man-for-man pressure. With the ball at the top of the circle is Fred Brown. Brown now on the right-hand side for Smith.
Make that Blaylock.
Blaylock, who just checked into the ballgame. Blaylock with a pressure shot, hits. 4 points on the afternoon for Blaylock, his first 2 points in overtime. And the lead is 1, 70-69. Connecticut on top. 1:45 left in overtime. Doolin with full court pressure gets it over the timeline. Thompson now gives it back to Doolin. And the Hoyas playing that tough man-for-man defense. Hobbs now trapped in the corner, but the ball's kicked by Eric Smith, and the Huskies will inbound it.
And Eric Smith has been the MVP in this game for Georgetown. He has scored 20 points here this evening, leading all scorers for Georgetown and for UConn, as UConn's highest scorer was Thompson with 18.
So the Huskies trying to do something they were not able to do all last year, knock off one of the top 3 teams in the Big East. They've already done it once this year. Rather, they've already done it twice, beating Syracuse and St. John's at home, trying to make it a clean sweep by beating Georgetown. 70-69, they have the lead. 1:23 left of overtime. Hobbs now penetrating, leaving it off for McKay, who gets it back to Hobbs, and Hobbs brings it back out towards the top of the offensive zone. Into Hobbs, back to Doolin, and over to the top of the circle goes Doolin. Now leaves it off for Alex Innes. They're trying to foul the big guy. They can't do it as Alex Innes gets it over to McKay. Huskies showing good patience and good ball handling skills. Now run the clock down to 1 minute. A minute left in overtime. 70-69. Doolin cutting through the lane is fouled by Call, and that will send the senior to the line.
Doolin shooting 85% on the year. Is one of the men the Huskies want on the line. Remember, like we said, these free throws are everything and especially when you come out to an overtime period. But towards the second half, overtime, even the free throws in the first half could say the output of a game late in like a second half of action.
Well, that's what we mentioned earlier, Harold. Doolin at the line shooting 85% on the season, 17 for 20. And on the afternoon, Doolin has totaled only 2 points. And if he hits here, these would be the biggest points he would have all afternoon. It wouldn't matter how many he'd score. 58 seconds left in overtime. Connecticut on top, 70-69. Doolin hits.
Pressure on the senior from Milford, Connecticut, 71-69.
Doolin, who transferred 2 seasons ago from Penn State, became the captain earlier in the season for the Connecticut Huskies, the co-captain, puts in the second end, and Connecticut's lead is 3 points.
They can't foul here with 55 seconds to go in this game. They should go back into a zone.
Make Georgetown shoot over it. Controlling the ball at the top of the circle is Brown. Over to Carr on the right-hand side for number 30, Ron Blaylock. And Connecticut stops the offense, get the rebound. And it's controlled by Corny Thompson. 35 seconds left. Hobbs in the backcourt. Over to Doolin. Across the timeline. Doolin to Thompson. And we're going to get a foul on Fred Brown.
I don't know, but I'm not too happy with that Connecticut defense on that last play. They went man-to-man. I'm not sure who shot the ball, but Hobbs went up to block it, and it could have been a three-point play. That's very questionable thing to do, is to stay on the man-to-man defense when you should make Georgetown shoot from the outside. They have no strength underneath with Frazier going, and maybe that was just one play after the shots, and they're going to come back and do a zone defense this time with 31 seconds to go.
Well, there is still time. If Doolin misses this free throw, that will give Georgetown the ball and an opportunity to score.
And now there's a bit of discussion. Connecticut says they had the ball on the free throw line.
That's right.
And Georgetown called the timeout, and the referee has given it to him. So now Perno's up and talking. The whole Connecticut bench is up and talking, but I got to believe with 31 seconds left in a three-point lead, you got to settle down. You got to go, hey, talk it over, relax. You're in the driver's seat with the ball on the foul line.
They better get some action going in that huddle. Perno's still talking to the referees. Georgetown huddled over John Thompson. They're setting things up. And now finally, Greg Ashford and Jim O'Brien take over for the huddle for Don Perno. Let's recap the situation. Connecticut and Georgetown went into overtime tied at 67. Connecticut pulled to a three-point lead. Georgetown cut it to 1, and then Connecticut went back on top by 3 with 2 foul shots by Carl Hobbs. Let's check that. It was 65-65 during regulation. So Connecticut has the three-point lead, 31 seconds left. Bob Doolin was fouled just as he crossed midcourt. They went to the free throw line. The referees gave the ball to Doolin. Georgetown called timeout. The referees recognized it, took the ball away from Doolin, and awarded the timeout to Georgetown. So when they break out, it'll be Doolin at the line, shooting 1-1, trying to enhance the Husky three-point lead.
Let's remind you, you're in tune to WHUS Storrs, Connecticut, the sound alternative, where at 4 o'clock you can hear Rick Neron with the unnamed special. It's Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
And where every Monday morning from 6 to 9, you can hear Steve Wolfberg on the Wake Up with Wolfie show. So Bob Doolin comes out to the free throw line, trying to ice this game for Connecticut. It's a 1-1. Doolin setting it up, hits the first one.
4-point Husky lead with 31 seconds to go. Let's see what Connecticut's going to fall back into when it comes to defense.
Doolin had 4 points in regulation, has 3 free throws here in overtime, and cans the second end of the 1-1, giving the Huskies a 5-point lead, and Georgetown had better hurry. The lights are going out on them very quickly here at the Fieldhouse. Going through the middle is Smith, forces one up, puts it in, and we're going to get another timeout. So he cuts the lead to 3 points. Connecticut still on top, 74-71.
And again, I can't agree with that one. I'm not sure exactly what defense they fell back into, but whatever it was, Georgetown made it look like they weren't even there. There's a difference between not fouling somebody and just letting them go in with a lot of time remaining. That was a crucial play. Georgetown is now within 3 points. Connecticut's up 74-71. There's still 23 seconds to go in this game. If Georgetown steals this inbounds pass and connects, it'll be a 1-point lead with the same difference. So we're going to have to see what happens with 23 seconds to go in this game, or in this first overtime period, we'll put it that way.
Well, Georgetown didn't waste much time after Doolin sunk the 2 free throws. Georgetown came right up the court, scored in 7 seconds. And they're setting their inbounds defense up on the sidelines with John Thompson. Look for full court pressure once again with a lot of pressure on the ball.
Georgetown's next Big East game is February 4th on a Wednesday when they play Villanova at home. And then they play St. John's that 7th. So Georgetown after this is going to have some big Big East action to go up against. And if they want to get back into anything, they're going to have to win most of their games from now on. Remember last year they were 11-5 at one point and won 15 straight, as they are a second half ball club.
They certainly are, Harold. Anything can happen in the Big East. We've seen that this year. Thompson trying to inbounds it. Does to Hobbs. Back to Thompson. 21 seconds now. Thompson has the ball ripped from his hands. No foul. Call has it. Inside to Smith. Driving the lane off the glass and in. And Georgetown wants time. And they're going to get it.
They call it a foul. I believe they're calling a foul instead of a time. But John Thompson's up and yelling.
Oh my, let's wait and see things get straightened out here. Let's not call it too soon.
Now, right now on the clock, there's 11 seconds, and it says Connecticut 74, Georgetown 73. I believe they're calling a foul, but right now both teams are in a huddle. So did they call a timeout? Did they call a foul?
It might have been an offensive after the shot. They might allow the basket. We'll have to see. It's purely speculation right now. And I don't think very many people in this crowd of over 4,500 really know what's going to happen when the referees blow the whistle for both teams to come out. 11 seconds are left. The scoreboard reads 74-73. The extra point belongs to Connecticut. They have led throughout this overtime period, except for at the opening. Georgetown got the first bucket in overtime, but strange things happened after that. Eric Floyd fouled out. That made him the 3rd Georgetown player to foul, along with Frazier
and Gene Smith. Technical foul called on the Georgetown bench. That is what they're screaming about. And Cornelius Thompson will go to the line to shoot 2.
Had they used up their timeouts, that might have been it, Harold.
That's a very good point, Bill. I wasn't sure. They were calling timeouts left and right. Thompson, misses. But he has another one.
This is a very, very important free throw. Connecticut will get the ball in bounds as Thompson hits. It's a 2-point lead. Connecticut will get the ball in bounds
at half court.
Should Georgetown foul, Connecticut would go to the line with a 1-and-1. And if they miss the front end, Georgetown would have one last chance to tie the game. And that is why that first free throw was so critical.
And that's also why that play coming off the 2 Bobby Doolin free throws that Georgetown came down and scored within about 6 seconds was also very crucial, as Connecticut really had a chance to take that 5-point lead and use it to their advantage, but they didn't quite do so as they let Georgetown score right away to cut it to a 3-point lead.
Thompson will try to inbound it. Having problems getting it in. Now gets it in Alex Sinnis. Way over to Doolin. Doolin will bring it now towards the top of the offensive zone over to Hobbs. Will get another foul. 5 seconds on the clock. As Hobbs will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1. Kurt Call was charged for the foul, his second of the afternoon. And that will send Carl Hobbs to the line shooting the 1-and-1. And the front end of this bonus situation foul is going to be very critical. Should Hobbs hit it, that would be it for the Hoyas. Should he miss it, the Hoyas would have 5 seconds in which to try to put it in should they control the rebound.
There's only one Husky underneath. That's Chuck Alexinis. 3 of them are back.
Hobbs misses the front end. Bullis with the rebound. Quickly up ahead to Call at half court. 4-1. And he's not going to get a shot.
Unbelievable. They didn't even take a shot. With 5 seconds left, Call was dribbling the ball around. He passed it to, I believe, number 30, Ron Blaylock. When he looked up to the basket, he heard the buzzer. And what an unbelievable way to end the game.
The final score, the University of Connecticut in overtime, defeating Georgetown 75-73. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Well, the University of Connecticut pulls another Big East Conference victory, a home court victory against the Georgetown Hoyas. 75-73 was the final score. They had to go to an extra period to do it. And with all the scoring in the game, here's Harold Darak.
Well, in regulation, it ended 65-65. Eric Smith canned the first shot, making it 67-65. Georgetown was on top by 2. McKay tied that one up. Gene Smith missed a one-on-one, and Connecticut came up with Hobbs' foul, and he put 2 of them in to make it 69-67. Hobbs was fouled again after he stole the ball, only connected 1 of 2, giving Connecticut a big 3-point lead, 70-67. Blaylock came back on the other end with 1:40 to go in the overtime session, hit his shot. It was 70-69. Then Doolin went to the line. He put in 2, 72-69. Doolin, another nice play on the ball. Coming up the other way, another 2 free throws, putting them both in, giving Connecticut its biggest lead in the overtime period, 74-69. But Eric Smith came right back for 2 points, 74-71. He was really unmolested on that whole play. There was a timeout. Georgetown put in 2 more points. Connecticut put in 1 more point on a foul shot by Cornelius Thompson on a technical foul, as we believe Georgetown called 1 more timeout more than they were due, and they got a technical foul called on them. For the scoring, the leading scorer for the Connecticut Huskies was Cornelius Thompson. He finished off the night with 19 points. Chuck Alexander was second. He had 13 first-half points, only 2 in the second half. Ended up for 15 points tonight. A lot of players in double figures. It was McKay with 13. It was Giscombe with 10. And those are the double-figure scores for the Huskies. Bobby Doolin had 6 points, 4 in overtime. Carl Hobbs had 5 points, 3 of those were in overtime. And Norm Bailey also had 3 points for Georgetown. They were led by Eric Smith, who really was hot tonight. He had 26 points. And for Smith coming into the game, he was their 3rd leading scorer with a 9.5 average, but he really boosted that. Then next came Mike Frazier and Eric Sleepy Floyd with 10 points each. Frazier fouled out with 2 minutes in regulation play. Floyd fouled out in overtime, and they both ended up with double figures, 10 points on the night, 6 points for Bullis, all on foul shots, 6 points for Brown, 4 for Hancock, 4 for Blaylock, and 1 for Gene Smith. And that's all the scoring. The final was Connecticut 75, Georgetown 73. Bill?
Georgetown's 2nd Big East loss in a row. That will move their record to 3 wins and 3 losses. Connecticut with a victory moves to 4-2 in the Big East and moves into sole possession of 2nd place, or rather 3rd place in the conference, pending the outcome of the Boston College-Seton Hall game this evening. Of course, St. John's leads the country with 5 victories and 1 loss. Harold, Connecticut's next match is going to be a bit of a break for them. They will play Massachusetts on Tuesday evening before having to play another Big East match next weekend.
They play Rhode Island on Thursday and Manhattan on Saturday.
Okay, so they do have a break in the schedule as far as the Big East goes. And if I'm not mistaken, the next Big East match would be against Providence College. That would be the 4th of February. And, of course, we'll have that here on the Sound Alternative.
I guess that about wraps it up here. Once again, the final score, the Connecticut Huskies, which upped their record to 13-2, 75, and Georgetown 73. Thanks for listening to Connecticut basketball action on WHUS. Our next sports broadcast will be tonight when the Connecticut Husky women's basketball team faces Montclair State in the championship round of the Husky Classic from Alumni Court at 8:55. Mark Boudreau and Hugh James will be there for that one. Our next men's basketball broadcast will be this Thursday, January 29th, from the Hartford Civic Center when the Husky Hoopsters will play the University of Rhode Island Rams, airtime 7:55. UConn Husky basketball action on WHUS has been made possible in part through very generous underwriting grants from Subway footlong sandwiches, Nice Trow Incorporated, The Villa Spirit Shop, Husky's Restaurant, Holiday Spirits, Tony's Garage, Cheese and Things, and Rosal's Restaurant and Banquet Center. Our technical directors this afternoon has been Chris Albano and Hugh James. Our field engineer and statistician, Mark Boudreau. So for you, Chris, Mark, and my sidekick, Bill Healey, this is Harold Darak saying so long from Alumni Court. The final score, Connecticut 75, Georgetown 73 in overtime. Connecticut basketball is a WHUS sports presentation. UConn athletics covered completely, extensively, and exclusively on WHUS Storrs, the Sound Alternative.